guys have been through. But if anything, this morning, this small session, this 20-30 minutes, I want to inject some hope into you. I want to inject a new way of looking at your life into you. So, like Gwen was saying, like she called it kick and slap and all these kind of terms. Actually, all it is I totally don't like fake. I can't handle fake. Whenever I come and talk in front of people too, there's no fake. There's nothing to hide. I'm not trying to pretend like I'm something better than you or worse than you. I am who I am, and you are who you are. And so when we can start to engage in this conversation for the next 20-30 minutes, I can promise you something will shift in you. Something will shift for you, and that's kind of my whole heart here. Is that okay? Is that cool? No?
Cool, man.
You guys a bit shy? We're going to have to crack open some of their shyness. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Is that cool? Right, so I went to Marsland College, and how many of you know Marsland? Yeah, Marsland College, my school, filled with shy people. Filled with shy people. And when I first joined my school, I learned how to become shy because of the culture. Sometimes culture is good, and sometimes culture is not so good. And so these are some things we're going to address too. Now, I'm trying to get a photo of my wife and my kids so you can see them on here. Is it going to work? Maybe. So, there's something about empowering women that I feel I was born to do. I was born in a house with my mom and 2 sisters. So, there's always 3 women, 2 men. You know what happens when there's 3 women and 2 men. And now I'm married, I have a wife and 2 daughters. I'm again in a house of 3 women and 2 men. Over the last 11 years, I've been a youth pastor for 4 years. I've worked with a lot of teams. I've worked with girls, women especially, and there is a trending pattern of self-worth, not understanding self-worth, a trending pattern that I have seen. And that's one of my missions in life, is to help women see their true worth. Not the worth their parents gave them, not the worth their school gave them, not the first boyfriend or any guy that gave them any attention, not that worth, the real self-worth. I've met people who are 30, 40, 50 years old. Right now I do an online coaching and mentoring course. We have women that are 50 years old that have issues from when they were teens. And they have issues with their first boyfriend, their second boyfriend that they never dealt with. And it changed how they looked at themselves for 30 years. And even though they got married and they had kids and they started a new life, what happened in that phase of their life is still ruling them today. And so you don't want to be in that position, right? Well, am I making sense?
Yes.
Am I too real?
Yes.
Or is this okay?
It's okay.
If I'm too real, I don't know what I do because I don't know how to do fake. Right? So I'm really excited here to share a few things with you. I think the photo finally might be here. There you go. So that's Shilpa, obviously. You've seen her. That's my wife on the left, Kirsten. I met her at university. We've been married for 9 years. And at the bottom here on the left is Zaya. She's really cute and cheeky. And the one on the right, her name is Adele. And she's really smart. She's 4 years old. So I wanted to introduce my family so you can see that I am around women a bit more than I ever planned to be. So we go back to the first slide. So if you guys got your pens and papers, I want you to be answering some questions. You don't necessarily have to answer to me, but you got to answer to yourself. I don't know if you know, but every day you have conversations with yourself. Every morning when you wake up, every night before you go to bed, you have some of the most real conversations with yourself. So I want to ask you this question. Out of 10, 10 being really, really excited and 1 being not at all excited, how excited are you about your life at present? Just give yourself a score. Okay, that's the first question. How excited are you about your life at present? The second question. If I was to ask you, what do you believe is special about you? How many things could you come up with? So I want you to just quickly think, how many things could you come up with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that you actually would say you believe. Things that are special about you. How many would you come up with? Just write the number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Alright. You guys okay? Third question. Okay. If I ask you to come up here and stand up and tell everybody else that you believe you are beautiful, could you do that? Yes or no? Be honest. No reason to lie to yourself. No one else is going to see this. This is for you. Be honest. Could you stand up here and say that you believe you're beautiful? Next question. What is one thing that you believe is stopping you from having an amazing life?
That's a hard one.
Last question. What do you believe is your ultimate passion or purpose in life? Ultimate. Your ultimate passion or purpose in life. And that last question, I want to ask anyone if they want to share it. To be happy? Awesome. Anyone else?
To be positive and successful.
Positive and successful. Nice. Anyone else?
To ensure that my son has a happy and exciting life.
Yeah. That your son has a happy and exciting life. Come on. Anyone else? Anyone else want to share? We'll get 2 more.
For my daughter to be successful.
Daughter to be successful. Awesome. Anyone else? One last one. One last one. I'll tell you, there's a reason I get people to talk back to me when I'm talking, so that it doesn't become this man came and he talked at me. Like some of you might not realize, but every environment you go to, you dictate how people should treat you. One of the common things I see with women is they're like, oh, these people treat me like this boy treated me like that, this man treated me like that. And I'm like, do you realize you taught them to? Like right now I come in this room, you're teaching me how to treat you. You are forcing me to belittle you. You don't realize it, but by being shy and quiet, you are forcing me to think less of you. And you don't realize you carry this everywhere you go. And we want to start breaking some of this stuff because you're way above that. So let me challenge you a little bit. Let me provoke you a little bit. Who's got one? Passion, purpose. Who hasn't shared already?
To own a house.
To own a house. It's good to own a house. Awesome. Let me throw one more out there. One more person. Come on.
To be a great mother.
To be a great mother? Awesome. This is going well. Let's throw one more out there. Come on, one more. Let's go. Feel like an auctioneer. Come on. One more. Just start let me encourage you. 20 minutes. For 20 minutes, just let go of all your fears, all your limiting beliefs, all your old thought patterns. Just for 20 minutes, just entertain me. One more. Come on. Who's got one? If your heart's beating fast, you're the one that should be sharing right now. Passion, purpose, ultimate dream. Throw one. Come on.
Protection from negativity.
Okay.
Like,
Protection from
yeah.
Yeah.
Like how to avoid it.
Awesome. Come on, someone new? One more. Dog? Well, we'll keep working on it. So, I just want to show you something here, okay? The reason that we started this... How do you go back? I'll click on that first one. The reason that we started this program actually with youth is because of suicide and because of the suicide rate in this nation. I don't know if you know, but New Zealand has the highest youth suicide rate per capita in the world. And it makes no sense to me why we have that, because I think New Zealand's the most amazing country.
Sorry,
The slides are playing up there. This makes no sense to me, because I come from India, and in India, right, like say in New Zealand, you go outside, you see all these nice green trees, and you see all these beautiful buildings, beautiful nature. In India, you don't get a chance to see that in most of India. It's just buildings, bikes, cars, autos, lots of noise, lots of screaming, smoke, everywhere. Right? So I'm shocked that this nation has such a high suicide rate. In India, if you don't have money, the government doesn't care. You will just be left for dead. In this nation, if you can't survive, the government will have your back. So I'm looking at all these things, I'm like, why does New Zealand have the highest youth suicide rate? It makes no sense. We're an amazing nation. And so I started to look into this subject more and more, and whenever I talk to youth, this question of why do you believe you were born is the question that most people don't think about and don't have an answer for. So over the last 3, 4, 5 years, how many of you have seen like suicide awareness ads? Stuff on TV, yeah? Most of you? It's all over the place. Because we've raised awareness of suicide. And suicide is death. But there is still a lack of awareness of life. Why are you alive? And this is something that I want to go through with you for the next 15 minutes, 20 minutes on what you believe inside you, what you carry. Okay, so Fuse Life began because of that. It's called Fuse because we are fusing every area of life, and I'll go into that in the next slide. So down here I have a quote by Mark Twain, and this is an awesome quote here. The 2 most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why you were born. Every person in here is so unique. You are so different. You think differently. You talk differently. Your voice is different. Everything about you is different. Your eyes are different. Your ears are different. How you process things are different. And you were created like that uniquely for a unique purpose. Do you know that if all of us stood here and we sang the national anthem of New Zealand, we'd all still sing differently. Even though it's the same song and the same tune, you have a different mark. And that is something beautiful that you were born and designed for on the earth. When you don't understand that, you end up following the pattern that the world gives us. And this was a pattern I fell into. Can you move to the next one? I came here in 1997. So I lived in Hyderabad, South India, and I came here. Oh, the slides are playing up. Can you pause that?
No, it doesn't stay there. Oh. No.
Because you were pressing play, maybe?
Mm-mm.
So maybe don't show it as a slideshow. Just put it up there.
I don't think I can do that.
Like that. Can you put that on?
No.
So we go back to that. No, can you go back?
It won't stay there.
Okay, we'll just shut it off then. It might just distract people. Just keep it here for me.
Yeah.
Do you take it off there?
Yep.
So I came here in 1997, okay? And when I came here, I was so excited. My whole family was not excited, but I was really excited because I was the youngest kid. They all built their life in India and they had to leave their life and come here. But I came here, I had no life there. I was starting my life here because I was still a kid. And I was so excited. But see, when I came here, I didn't know that I sound funny till people started telling me in school that I talk funny, that my accent's funny, that my hair is funny. I didn't know that my color was wrong sometimes. I didn't know all these things. I started getting taught these things as a young kid, and I started to learn how to put masks on. I remember coming into school and we had math class, and in India they force you to study, so I was really smart at that time. I came here and in math class, teacher would ask questions and I knew the answers, and I realized if I answer every question, people stopped liking me. So I stopped answering questions. I stopped answering even though I knew the thing, and I put on another mask, and I started to develop real good identities. I knew how to be in school, I knew how to be at home, I knew how to be with my sports teams, I knew how to be with my closest friends, And I had 5 or 6 really good masks. All to protect me. All designed to make people like me. You might not even realize that you have a similar story to me. When I came here, I faced some serious racism. In 1997, there weren't that many Indian people, not as much as now. Okay? And so when I came here, I had this one experience where I got beaten up for $1 on the side of the street. Right? And this lady with her big dog saved me. There were 8 guys punching my face for $1. I had another time where these 3 guys kept circling me on their bikes, spitting at my feet, saying all kinds of names to me. So in my heart, when all these things started happening, I didn't realize, but the hatred that came towards me started to create hatred inside of me. So for the first 8-9 years in New Zealand, I never had white friends. Maybe even 11 years, I never had white friends. I didn't realize that because I faced hatred, it started to change how I looked at people. If you asked me, Joseph, are you racist? I'd be like, no, I'm not. But actually, in my heart, I had a problem. And this is what happens in life as you're growing up. Things come at you, and you don't realize, but you become the very thing that came at you. And I didn't realize till 11, 12 years later, I'm like, I could count the number of white Pākehā friends I had like that. I had 2. And they weren't normal Pākehā people either. You know? Until in the last 10 years, so much happened in my life that I became part of a church that was all white. I married a white woman. You know, my whole life completely flipped when my heart shifted. I'm bringing up this story to you because some of you might not even realize the things that came at you are now in you, and they are affecting you in a negative way and you don't realize. This slide here is one of a mask. I became a professional pretender. I was so good. This is why when I come in here, I don't want fake. Because I was sitting in that seat where I knew how to put on the perfect face. On the inside, I could insult someone, but on my face, I could make it look like I really like them. On the inside, I could totally chop someone down, but on my face, you'd think oh man, this person's awesome. And I had all these, the church face, the non-church face, the clubbing face, the home face, the Indian parents face. I don't know, island culture is a little like Indian culture. It's collectivist. Everyone's in everyone's business.
True.
Is that true?
True.
In Indian culture, everyone's in everyone's business. You won't even tell your auntie something, but somehow she knows. And she knows more than you know about what happened in your house. And so the culture is like that. So we learn how to put on all these kind of masks. But what you don't realize is every time you put on a mask, you're killing the person who's on the inside. So I come in here now and I'm trying to get you to open up, but the fear of removing one of these masks is scary. And you don't have to remove all of them right now, but I want you to know, the more you hide, the worse it gets. The worse it gets. And so, one of the first things I want to encourage you today is to start becoming aware of some of your masks. So you can start to take off some of your masks. A lot of you want a good future for your kids. Can I tell you something? As a father of 2 beautiful girls, right? They don't become what you teach them. They become who you are. Children don't become what you teach them. Some of you might think you're going to go teach them all the right things and it's going to change their life. It's not going to do jack. Because they're watching and learning from who you are. They see how you talk about yourself. They see how you view yourself. They see how much self-worth you carry and they will take that on. They see how safe you feel. They see how confident you are. They see how you are as a person and they take it from you. So all of you that were like, I want my kids to have a better future, it only begins with you. It begins with you. I run a fitness training business on the North Shore. I train people, make them fit, all that good stuff. For a while, for 2 years, I did a studio out of my own garage. And so my daughter, who was 1, would come out and start to train. She would try and lift some weights with my clients, and sometimes she would tell them to do more reps, But she got into that. But I didn't realize how much she got affected till one night I was reading her bedtime stories and I was telling her these stories. And then I asked her, well, what do you want to do? And she starts telling me how she wants to have a business. Right? She's 3 at this time. I'm like, you want a business? She's like, I want to have a fireman business. Right? She doesn't understand anything. So I'm like, what does that mean? She's like, I want to drive a fire engine. I'm like, that's great, honey. And she's like, no, maybe a supermarket business. And then finally she ends on a cookie business. So the next day, she baked cookies with my wife. She probably did half of it or quarter of it, and my wife did the rest. But then she packaged it, sealed it, and now she's selling these cookies. Now, I didn't have to sit and tell her what to do and what to be. Kids just catch who you are. Are you getting what I'm saying? And so now at 4, she's a girl of supreme confidence. Till someone comes and breaks her confidence, and breaks her fear, and breaks her spirit, she will be unstoppable. And as her dad, me, and as a mom, her mom, we are not going to be the ones that break anything in her. But you might be sitting here and someone broke your spirit the first time you sang. Some of you are really good at singing in this room. And you sang and somebody said you sounded like a donkey, and that was the end of that. Some of you are such good artists in here. But someone somewhere might have broken something they should not have been broken. And so we learn to put on these masks till you dare to take these masks off. The effect of the mask is going to stay in your life. Is this okay? Am I going
Good.
too deep, or are we okay?
Okay. Good.
We okay? You guys have all given birth. That's probably like the hardest thing to do. Okay? If you can do that, surely we can have a conversation. True?
True.
True. Come on. Isn't that, like, I was with my wife for giving birth. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is scary. How many of you were scared? Be honest. When it was happening. Yeah. I'm like, this is like a war. And when it finished, I was like, yes, we did it. But I don't get it about women. She has a baby 6-8 months later. She's like, we can do it again. I'm like, what? Women are crazy. But women are strong. Do you know if I have to pick for my business, I have to pick leaders for all the projects I'm running, I have to pick leaders, I would rather pick a woman any day. Because women understand loyalty on a different level, and women understand strength and love on a different level. So I respect you guys. Now there are 3 questions that you might want to write down that I want to start to engage and put into your mind, because if you don't think about the stuff I'm talking about, you will never engage it. And the stuff I'm talking to you about revolves around 3 things, okay? During this talk, we're confronting some of your past. As I'm sharing, some of you are thinking about some of your old stories. Then I'm going to talk about what you do every day, which is correcting your present. And then we start looking into the future. So we create your future. How many of you know you have the power to create your future? You can be, do, have anything you want if you decided to. And nothing can stop you. One of the craziest things that I'm seeing just watching Gwen. Last year I came here into this very place. Where was that small room?
Community center.
Oh, was it somewhere else?
Somewhere.
Down the road, a small room. And I spoke to 8 girls.
Yeah.
And Gwen was one of them. And I remember that day, she was like, wow, like, she said a whole bunch of things that she probably didn't want to say. You know, she wasn't very happy. But there began a journey for her to see her now. I am blown away. I saw her son 3 months ago. I saw what he was like and how his face was and how he wouldn't talk, and there was some kind of anger there. I see her son now running around, hugging everybody, drumming, dancing, smiling all the time, singing. All of this just in the last 3 months that I've seen it. But how many of you understand that if you want to walk into your future, you have to confront your past? Some of you have tried to move into your new and you've ignored your old. Your old's going to follow you everywhere you go. The old people, the old things they said to you, your old mindsets, your old habits. If you try and take them into your new, it will keep becoming your enemy. And I watched Gwen face off with her past. Then she had to deal with her present. And this is the 3 things. You got to confront your past, you got to correct your present, then you can create your future. And there's always fear. When you're confronting your past and you're looking at what you do in your life and who you're with, the house you live in, the people you talk to, there's always fear when you think about moving to the new. But that is one of your big challenges that if you are able to walk into, can change your life dramatically. So here are 3 questions. Who are you? You might want to write this question down. Who are you? Can you answer that question to yourself, who are you? And I don't mean your nationality. I don't mean a description of you, like your color, or your age, or what you do. I'm saying, who are you? Aside from all that stuff, who are you? When you don't know the answer to this question, you will become everything somebody else wants you to be. Some of you might have become exactly what a guy wanted you or needed you to be. Without ever checking if you are that girl, you became what that guy needed till he didn't need you anymore. This is a really important question. Okay, who are you? Second question I want to ask you, why are you here? And I don't mean here like Tangaroa College. I mean, why are you on the earth? Have you ever thought about this question?
Yes.
Why are you here? And the third question, what do you carry? Now, what do I mean by that? What are the gifts, the talents, the things you have in you that you can serve the world with? These three questions, if you are able to unmask and get raw and real with yourself, can completely change your life. So now if I ask you this question, who are you? Does anyone in here want to answer that to me? Are you shy, Annie?
I
What?
just don't know what to say.
You don't know the answer? Okay, so that's good, you still answered. Anyone here, who are you? And if I ask you this question, why are you here? How many here feel like you could answer that right now? And the last question, you might be able to answer this one. What do you carry? Your gifts.
Love.
Love? Awesome. What else? Who in here sings? I know someone, at least someone sings here. Who sings here? You sing here?
No.
Are you sure? Does she sing? What about, does she sing? Do you sing here? What's her name?
Me.
Yeah, do you sing?
Yes.
Yeah, you're a good singer. Yeah, who draws in here? Who's an artist? Are you an artist? Who's an artist? Awesome. Who's a comedian in here? Who's funny? Who likes to be silly and be funny all the time? There's one there. Who likes to cook in here? Anyone like to cook? Bake? And you're good at it? You know, Shilpa bakes really well. But when I was a kid, she didn't bake that well. So I was her guinea pig. She would give me all the things she tried and some tasted not that great. But I would eat it anyway. And now she's amazing at baking. What else do you carry? You know, I know you love cars. You love, right? You love to do up cars and stuff. That's rare. Especially for women to love that stuff. That's awesome. Who else? Who here feels like they might they have a personality for TV, for media? And you know, whenever I throw these questions, all the old ways of thinking, all the things people have told you, like one of the saddest things I see is called false humility. Can you say this? False humility.
False humility.
Okay, this is where people pretend to be humble. Have you ever heard people that try and tell you, act humble, act humble? You ever heard that? I want to tell you something. You cannot act humble. Humility is not an act. Humility is, I am who I am. Right? So that means if I can sing at 8 out of 10, then I sing at 8 out of 10. I don't say I can't sing, because then I'm lying and I'm being falsely humble. Right? On the other side, you have pride. How many of you know what pride is? You guys know what pride is? So I think I'm better than everyone else. And so I act like I'm a 10 out of 10. Humility is, this is where I'm at, this is who I am, and that's enough. And so one of the things that I saw in my school was a false humility. I learned it. It's like, I know the answer to that question, but I won't say it. Because I don't want to make other people feel bad. And so I won't shine, because I don't want to make other people look bad. And I know that that was a real thing in my school. False humility, it robs you of your destiny. So when I say, how many of you are born for media, to be in front of the TV? Some of you are. Some of you in your heart might have been like, yep, that's me. But then your mind, you want to try to shut it down by either being humble, trying to act humble. Is this making sense?
Yes.
Hey, we're getting a few more answers. Now this slide, there's no point for this slide. Oh, you know what? Maybe Kaylin can stand here and show you the laptop.
I can.
Yeah. Kaylin's one of our coaches at Fuse Fit at my business. And Kaylin's pretty strong at squatting and bench pressing and deadlifting. So she can hold this. How many of you... Can you see this?
Yeah, kind of.
Wait, let me check. How many of you can see the slide?
Yeah.
No? How do I make this big? Can I make this big?
It's a zoom option on the corner.
Oh yeah, let me make it bigger. Okay. How many of you know these people? Can you see any of them? No? This is not going to work?
Can I
Okay.
try put on? I think I know how to do it.
Do you?
I was
Okay,
watching
please.
that movie last night.
Come on, jump on. Save me. Save me. Help me. Yeah, Bethany Hamilton.
I was watching it last night.
She was 13. I think she was 13 years old. And a shark pulls up next to her and bites her arm. And she went through 2 months of depression. She went through times of being like, what's the point of my life? Some of you might have been there. Anyway, she comes back really strong and now she's a world champion. She's won multiple events. She beats people who have 2 arms and she beats them with 1 arm. See that one on the left? Top left? Oh, the slides keep changing. Oh. Okay. Well. That's alright. There you go. Awesome. Okay, let's quickly go through these people. Well done. Thank you. I just want to quickly go through something, okay? Because we went off topic, but on topic for you guys. So see that girl there on the left? That's Bethany Hamilton. That's a board eaten by a shark. I don't know if you understand physiology, but first of all, how many of you have ever gone paddling in the ocean? How many of you have tried to paddle on a surfboard? It's ridiculously hard to do with both arms, let alone 1 arm. She loses an arm, and she has to now become doubly strong in her core, which is her stomach and everything else on the right side, to balance her body. And she is beating people with 2 arms all over the world.
There's a movie about it.
There is a movie. There's a second movie coming out too about her. Now Oprah, everybody knows Oprah?
Yes.
I don't know if you know that she was repeatedly raped by her cousin, uncle and Fred. She was pregnant at 14. That baby died. I'm just showing you some people who had crazy stories, okay? Next to her, who knows her name?
Nicole? No.
Charlize Theron.
Theron, that's right. Her story, she watched her alcoholic father, her mother shoot her alcoholic father. I mean, you understand that's pretty traumatic.
Yeah.
She went through crazy stuff as a kid. Then you got this guy down here. Do you know who he is? Tyler Perry, that's right. Sexual abuse, stuff as a kid. Who knows the middle guy? What's his name? Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, there.
Mark Wahlberg, drug addict, been to prison. He was messed up guy. How many know the last guy?
Eminem.
Yeah, everyone knows Eminem. Okay, we go down. The next one. Click the next line. And the next one. You guys might know Matangi, but we'll move on. How many of you know her face?
Yes.
Most people don't know her name, but they know her face. She's a famous actress now. Her name's... Yeah? Taraji. Her name's down the bottom there. But you look at her story. California, $700 in her pocket with a toddler. Single mum. People telling me I can't. Have you guys had people tell you can't do something?
Yeah.
You can't do this, you can't. Are you crazy? Anybody accuse anyone in this room of being crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah? Just a couple? For good reason or bad reason? She was 26 when she decided to move, and then they told her you're too old. She can't succeed, all this kind of stuff. But she smashed all of those objections. Next one. How many of you know her?
Yes, I know.
Lisa Nichols, crazy story.
Bell.
That's the school bell? Wow. Things have changed. So Lisa Nichols, she talks about a life-changing moment for her was when she was sitting outside and her ATM wouldn't draw out cash. She didn't have any money, sitting outside this ATM with her son, wrapped him up in this little blanket, and she promised him that that would never happen again where she didn't have money to buy him nappies. There is something about understanding the power of rock bottom. And that's why I wrote it there, she hit rock bottom. Some of you guys hit rock bottom, but you never talked about it. So you missed out on the power of rock bottom. Okay, now Lisa Nichols famous. She's an author, speaker, writes books, inspiring women everywhere. Right? She's hardcore. But I want to tell you something that really hit me. You see the bottom right there, the second to last point. What happened was she didn't know how money was made. Like some of you don't know how money is made. Okay, money is just an exchange of value. Money doesn't come to special people. There's some who deserve it, some who don't deserve it. Money is just a thing. It's a tool. It will follow a system. Anybody can create a system to make money. She didn't know that because she grew up ghetto. Everyone around her is broke, stealing. They don't understand the power of money. So she knew, I don't know how to make money. I don't understand money. So she went to the same conference that taught them about money 42 times to learn. And the first 5-10 times she went, she didn't understand anything they were saying. But her son, and not being able to buy him a nappy, drove her to keep going and learning how money works. Now she's doing pretty well. And so that's for some of you here. You want to get out, but you tried a little bit. How about trying 42 times? I want to put this out there. You can have anything you want in your life, but are you willing to go the distance? Next woman, most of you probably don't know this one. Stacey Curry. She's been through abusive relationships. There was a point where she had 3 kids and she loved to party. She was broken up with her man and she'd be with different men. And she liked to party and she would leave her kids with her parents while she went clubbing with her friends. And then she got married to this guy and the government came to take her kids because they would always fight. It got really bad, really ugly, really abusive. And that was when she hit rock bottom. And they said to her, you got to choose now. If you want your kids, you got to change your life. Alright, if you don't, we're taking them to foster care tonight. And so she hit rock bottom, made her decision. And obviously now she's a big coach doing all kinds of great things. But her story that hits me is the second to last point again. She decided to ask this question before every decision she made. Do I want to lose my kids? And when her friends would come party, come, let's go, come. She would ask that question to herself. Even though she wanted to go party, she would ask that question, do I want to lose my kids? And that rock bottom kept her to where now her kids have an amazing life because she was willing to go through the fire. And you guys here, what I'm trying to tell you might seem really crazy, but there is a massive destiny out there for you. How many of you think that maybe there is something like that for you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, some half hands. Awesome. Well, I took way longer than I planned and this thing didn't work, so let's end with this next slide. What do you say about you? I want you to write these questions down if you are someone that wants to pursue what this life has for you. What do you say about you? How do you talk about yourself? How do you talk about yourself to yourself when you look in the mirror? When you're going to bed at night? That's one of the realest times in a person's life is when their head hits the pillow and they're left, it's all silent and you're left only with yourself. This is why some people need music to go to sleep because they can't handle what's going on inside themselves. What do you say about yourself? What reasons have you given yourself that are ruining your life? Like, I'm not smart enough. I'm too ugly. I'm too fat. I'm too tall. I'm too short. I'm too this. I'm too that. What reasons have you given yourself that you don't realize are ruining your life? And last question, what are you going to change? So I started off this morning telling you that if there was one person in here that would decide to shift one thing in their life, I would feel like this morning was a success. And that is my hope and my prayer that at least one of you in here is like, you know what? There is more. There is more for me. And that you might decide to go get that more. You guys okay?
Yes.
Well.
Is there anything else that you want to share?